Okay. So, good morning to all the viewers and listeners of this YouTube channel. We are back again on day three and lecture one of this series, of this webinar series on Industry 4.0 and IoT. And we have today our guest from our own Integral University and alumni from 2013 batch. Uh, he is none other than Shadab Abedin. He was one of my students. And with this short, brief introduction, I would like to welcome Shadab.
Mm, Thank you. Thank you, Pil sir. Really, it's a great opportunity to share on the very important topic of industries and these days right now, and what we learned in university and what we actually achieve all those things with the help of IoT. IoT is one of the means keyword which really help in my life to achieve so many things. So today, to give me a opportunity to discuss, especially on the IoT used in my topic related to in pandemic, which is really we face right now, these days, COVID-19. So I discussed today with the help of IoT how we really deal with the COVID-19, and it's really thank you for all your supports.
Okay, you may proceed with your presentation.
Yeah, sure. So hi guys. First of all, I try to simply give a brief introduction. What is the IoT? Um, you have heard so many things about IoT. IoT is none other than the machine-to-machine communication. It is simply getting information from one machine to another and sending it to other machines via the internet. That's why it is called IoT, Internet of Things. Means you can simply nowadays IoT comes into from our kitchens to the car. Everywhere you have find out the sensors data are coming and captures from different sensors, and we get the information and pass on to the different machines to get the informations and decide according to the uh, situations, like you get the informations like temperatures, pressures, other things like simple applications of IoT. So nowadays, simply we see that IoT is really helpful in pandemic situation like COVID-19. In COVID-19 situation, IoT helps us so much. So I really simply goes with the needs and applications of the IoT in pandemic. So my agenda of today is two area where we focus mainly on the how pandemic impact our life and how IoT help in that. That is the two major area we have goes through different things. One is a healthcare facility and other is the work area and lifestyle. These are the two prominent area in our life where pandemic impacted and on how IoT helps. So first we go with the work area. So it's simply a healthcare situations, simply healthcare, how it in healthcare, how IoT help. First, it was enabling post-COVID operation biggest challenge, ensure social distancing, safety, productivity of work, so contact tracing and prevent unauthorized entry, faster emergency response. These are the area where IoT really helps. So these things are going in our life in IoT things. So just go with the one of the things why IoT help. So one of the things is gadget. So nowadays IoT provides a gadget which help us to face the challenge of COVID-19. That is one of the safe passes, one of the simply RFID card with the gadget, and second is the safety watch. These are the two applications or where IoT help us to face the COVID situations like and really goes. So I just described how these gadgets help us in COVID situations in work area and workplace. So simply we get the informations like data driven insight, simply informations like in which zone how many peoples are there, how it works, how the social distancing are followed. All the data are get through those gadgets, and we get the information on a single locations where monitoring is done. And from the workplace area, or you can say monitoring in the sense of getting the information related to the situations in that. The second application which is going into that, remote monitoring. Remote monitoring is just knowing that the in workplace or in a work area, how the peoples are moving one from another, how they ensure that all the workforce and all the things related to it working very well, how the things are going forward, and how productions is actually going on. And the third and most important thing, as per the uh, COVID, we face that social distancing. One of the steps to help to avoid the COVID-19 disease, or you can say that simply a COVID ensuring. So enforcing social distancing with these gadgets, we simply ensure that, just for example, uh, these are the gadgets which is actually when two people comes closer and avoid the break the social distancing or 1 meter, or what government allowed us in the workplace. So it simply give a alarm to and buzzing like alarm. So we know that we comes closer to the normal permitted distance. So it's help us to keep us and avoid one situation like coming closer and something like that. So these are the three basic things, uh, how IoT helps in workplaces. Like all the data are gathered from the sensors, or captures from the sensor, and send it to one central place where monitoring how the people are moving, how they come closer, or how the things are working. So these things are happening. Second, remote monitoring, and third is the enforced social distancing. These are the three prominent key points how they help. The next, we move further, real-time overcrowding alerts. So these gadgets help us to monitor that if certain zones or certain area in the workplace or some situations like happening, that number of people are gathered much more. So overcrowding alerts are generated like simply with those gadgets. So it's also help to avoid the situation like overcrowding, and real-time monitoring or real-time alerts to the management, that they can ensure that the people gather in a particular capacity or particular zone in a minimum number, or what's the maximum number of allowed to the people to work in that area. So it's a real-time monitoring with the help of IoT's gadgets. You can get the information that if the peoples are really gathering there or something like that. So these are the one of the key challenges in workplace, that we have to ensure that a particular area or particular zone in a workplace or work area, for example in a production area, there are so many workers are working in a single machine line or machine area. So sometimes what happen, normally due to unavoiding or something, just avoid those situations, they come in closer, and number of people gather at a certain place is increases. So these gadgets actually providing a real-time informations to the management or soft floor workers that these area are overcrowding or something like that. So this is the one of the applications we use, and actually it is a need of right now. That's why we said that how IoT helps into terms, how it actually becomes a need in our life right now, and how it actually helps. So this is the one of the applications of IoT. Next, next thing is implement manpower planning. Means simply, for example, right now you have a, for example, you have a five worker or some eight worker are working in a particular project or something like that. So you can also get the with the safety watch or something like that. These watches have sensors. We get informations like heart rate, blood, body temperatures, or you can SO2 or O2 level. Particularly in COVID, we mainly monitor the SO2 level, which is actually a oxygen level in a blood. So these safety watches or gadget, you can say that with IoT and monitoring, with real time monitor the heart rate, body temperature, also the SO2 levels. If something goes wrong, or some persons face anemia or something like that, which is lower down the SO2 level, or body temperatures increases or something like that. So it give a real time alarm to the manager or the soft floor workers that these person have facing some challenges or facing some health concern. So you can monitor real time and implement the manpower planning. It's actually helps to helps us to implement the manpower planning in such a way that you can know about the how the things are going with particular batch, or you can say team, like a team have a 5 member or 6 member, and out of those team, if someone face challenges, so you can plan accordingly that okay, out of 5 or 6 one member, it's easy to team lead, or you can say supervisor. Simply in most industry there is a supervisor who supervise the group of person actually to help in productions or something like that. So he can real time monitor their team, and accordingly they plan futuristic and implementing those workforce in a particular manner. So one of the application is the manpower planning. It's actually help in manpower planning also, these gadgets. One of the other aspect is just like in every office right now, in every college, or any places where productions and things are happening. So they make quarantine area where actually if someone just we find out that someone faces challenges in their health conditions or something like that. So they make a quarantine area where actually they for monitoring a person, they kept people there. So it's also helps those who are actually healthy and some working very well. So these gadgets like watches or something, safe passes, actually give a alarm if someone crosses or just enter into a particular unwanted area. So it gives the alarms or raise the alarms to the supervisor or the soft floor that this area is a quarantine area, or unwanted or unauthorized area where you don't have to allow to go there. So it's also help us to real time monitoring. It is not like you are watching a CCTV or something like that. So and after something is happening and then you watch what actually going through. So CCTV camera also provide a real time monitoring, but it's not giving a just a you can't monitor thousands of people at a time, something like that. If a in my company, just for example, in my company, thousands of people are working just in a productions area. So you can't monitor people via the CCTV or something like that. That these thousands of people. So these type of gadget, which is actually a gadget which is labs with so many sensors, which sensors like I described there, that sensor like temperature sensor, or SO2 level, or the body temperature, or a heartbeat. This gives information back to the supervisor, and you really real time monitoring all those concerns related to it. So these COVID area or quarantine area, actually these gadget help us to prevent unwanted movement in those areas. So this is the way right now we are working in the work area or workplace, simply in industry or something like that. So this is one of the applications. I said that for gadget. The other important aspect, the one of the prominent aspect of any gadget, why we use any gadget, or how IoT really help us, means Internet of Things, what happens that it's also give a facility or features like that. We are fast emergency response if something goes wrong, or something goes into unwanted situations, or someone health condition it deteriorate. So we can really respond in very faster manner, because all those gadgets help us to monitor real time monitoring, or it's also help us to give a response. Because sometimes what happen, things are like someone health deteriorate, or someone goes feel bad, or their SO2 level or body temperature, or something goes wrong. So because we are using gadgets which is less with IoT things or IoT feature, so it's also help us to faster emergency response. If someone goes wrong, or something goes wrong with anyone, it is not only a COVID situation, like something in normal workplace, or something some mishappening is ongoing. Means if you go through the data of organization which actually is for safety concern in a workplace, that every year we lost around thousands of people due to lack of real time responding or fast response, because something mishappening is going on, and we are waiting for ambulance or something, or some real time, because we are not monitoring real in a situation that we are not going uh, in that way that we respond faster. So these gadgets actually help us to faster emergency response also. So one of the key features actually what IoT provided, that it's also saved the life of the people actually. So it's not only for monitoring, it's also help us to respond fast in emergency situations. It saves lives of millions of people in the world every year. So in that way we can make our workplace safer and better for everyone. So this is the one of the applications of these gadget or IoT gadget. Some we can say that. Now we move to the second most prominent area, which is healthcare. You can say that how IoT help in healthcare. So as we said, that one is a prominent area is nowadays is work-life balance, or work area, where we have working. We have to, even in pandemic, we have to earn money or work for someone and get the earn money. The second most prominent area is the health, where actually one of the challenges to provide the healthcare facility to those person who is sick, or who is not well. So how IoT help us is that one is a telemedicine. Means what is a telemedicine? I am simply say that telemedicine is a simply you book a appointment with a doctor, and get the get the informations, or get their suggestions related to your health via the video call, or via the simply via the telephone. So this is the one of the key features which provide via IoT help us in telemedicine. They automate help people, for especially for disabled or old age people. So smart variables, sensor, contacted devices continue to change the way of healthcare in delivered. It's simply actually some now in the nowadays we find out that diabetic, one of, for example, diabetic is one of the situations where almost every Indians or every in the world, around 40% of the people, which is goes beyond 40 or 50 age, they face challenges related to the diabetic. So in diabetic, there is a problem of sugar level, and actually they have to monitor the real time sugar level. So these gadgets help us to monitor the sugar level in a real time. Sometimes what happen, in there are two type of diabetic normally, in, if you people are aware of it, there's a type 1 and type 2. So what happen, it's in sugar, in diabetic situations, what happen normally, sugar level goes high and also goes down. So it is not only that sugar level is goes maximum, it is also sometimes sugar level goes down. So you have to keep monitoring those situations in real time. So these gadgets like smart variables, smart watches, or smart sensors, you can say that you can wear, and those gadgets really help to monitor the sugar levels or sugar. You can find out that sending the information related to the sugar level to your doctor, and doctor prescribe accordingly to the diets and situation that you sometimes you need glucose or something in that situation, or you have to work on some other things, like where we face challenges, like sometimes potassium or sodium of your or some key electrolytes drop down or goes up. So accordingly, because it is a real time monitoring, so doctor prescribe you are real time suggestions or something like that. So one of the prominent use of IoT or applications is that healthcare. So that's the things we are doing right now. The second is it's also minimize the unnecessary contact. In coronavirus, we face what happens is that we can't go close to the person who have a situations or who faces COVID situations or coronavirus in that. So in that situation, what we how IoT is helping is that we make some gadget or something which is just monitor the situations like SOT, SO2 or O2 level of the person, or simply that. And you use simply robots. Sometimes, if you heard in news or something like that, robots have a sensor. That is simply what IoT is. That IoT is the Internet of Things. If every machine is simply and share their data or sensor to one another. So in that situations, we can minimize the unnecessary contact. So simply, if you go through the situation like that, you can't directly in contact with that COVID person or something like that. So with these gadgets, or with the robots, or robots which have sensors and monitor the person's health, like SO2, other parameter, temperature. Temperature is a key parameter to keep monitoring in COVID person. So those things are also help in COVID situation. IoT actually help in unnecessary contact in that situation to minimize. Actually, it's not really cut off the real situation, but it help. What it actually goes is it's minimize the unnecessary contact in that situation. So that's the one of the key features which IoT provided right now, and it is a real time monitoring in that situation. So, as I discussed, or as I told that it's estimate the number of virtual visit, means simply that you can monitor, you can go through the persons, which is you find out that person having the COVID symptoms or something like that. So it's also estimate the number of virtual visit. What is a virtual visit is that you can talk to the person, you can get the information of the person via those IoT systems, or simply like heartbeat or others, any critical parameters in a person which is facing some unnecessary or unhealthy conditions. So it's limit the or estimate the virtual visit via the teleconferencing or via video call. You can directly contact with your doctor and then describe your situations to doctors, that how you feel and how those things. So if you find out that these days our smartphones is the one of the key weapons in our daily life. So IoT is because IoT is nothing like that. It is a special system. It is a system which have us so many sensors, and sensor get the information, and those information are passing through via internet to other system where decision is actually happen, or decision where we make our decision that which is good or which is bad. So so smartphones have we have so many sensors also providing video call conferencing, that is called virtual visit. So it is also help in healthcare sector, IoT actually. So these things are nowadays actually help us. One of the prominent, if you find out that in if you visit right now in airport or railway stations, or you can, if you visit any mall or something like that, any place, there is a um, temperature sensors. Actually they sense your temperature, and if the temperature of your body is in permissible range, then you allow it. And if you go through the airport or something, there is scanning machine. Simply in a scanning machine, they are with the real time monitoring. They monitor your body temperature, actually not only the particular hand or your forehead temperature, they actually monitor your body temperature. So that is one of the key features. And what I found that in my college days, or I just remember that in my college days, I study one of the things, that is MATLAB. So MATLAB is one of the, you can say, um, and actually it is a in MATLAB there is a functionality that image processing they provided. There are around 128 tools in MATLAB. So one of the tool is the image processing. So nowadays if you see that in airport or in mall or in railway station, some camera is just facing to you and someone monitor your body temperature. uh, so how actually it was, it's simply a algorithm which is running behind the system. And the basic example you can find out the same in with the help of MATLAB. In MATLAB there is a image processing there. Same way one other tool is the OpenCV, which is actually process the image, and with your algorithm you can find out the temperature of the body. So what we learn in the college, now we find out now what I found that those things are right now is applicable in our daily life. It is not like sometimes people say that what we learn in college or what we um, um, uh, study or what we get the information from the university is not applicable in daily life. But what I totally said that what I learned in college and these things in the starting days, I also feel the same, that these things are not happening. But what I found that finally that those things are really used in our daily life. And those things, if you go and tear down the systems, something like that, you find out that those basic things which is uh, taught in your college or schools or something is actually applicable in our daily life. So those right now, if some students or some person who is watching this webinar, I simply say that means don't um just don't go into those proverbs, that those things which is taught in college or in our daily not used in our daily life. Actually it is used, but not in that way, which is not in that way uh, where it is taught in our books or taught by the our teachers. It is used in a different way. You have to find out the way how it is actually used. So what I found the same means, I am saying that right now I am saying that it is a virtual visit. What is a virtual visit? The same thing is right now these days in pandemic. These things are actually applicable in our systems and used in the system. Like simply I am saying that MATLAB image processing are using those cameras or those gadgets which is installed in airport or mall or in hospitals. Those things are actually in use. So just moving forward. So if you found out that these number of which is the virtual visit or something, it is actually closer to the more than 1 billion actually. So it's the this data is only a those data which is actually captured via the sensor, but in reality what I'm saying, it is much bigger than the 100 billions in throughout the world. These data, how telemedicine, for example, one of the if you heard about that, drones are used in to provide the medicines to remote areas or remote places. So the same IoT things or things which is related to the electronics or gadgets, or we feel like that same things are used in our daily life. So if you heard about drones are nowadays used to deliver the medicines or in remote areas or the places where really we face challenges. So actually via virtual visit or like virtual conferencing, or now we are just interacting to each other via the webinar or the you can say that some streaming. So same things are nowadays we are use. So its usage or data is not only 1 billion. 1 billion is just a number which is the agency or the our government is provided. But what I actually feel that the number is more than the 100 billions. More than the 100 billions of things are used in nowadays. So in 2021 what we found, the last 2 years we face in pandemic, the way of our thinking, way of our daily life, way of our healthcare or workplace or even a traveling, if you find that the totally change, it totally changed. Like you are not roaming freely nowadays. So these uh, informations or these gadgets actually helps to survive in these situations. We are the generation where gadgets are um, found very easily. But we are the engineers, we have tried to find out the solutions from that. So IoT helps in that situations. So these things we are going to find out. And one of the interesting fact what I found, that when you visit, there's a um, there one of the implementation is that mask. You peoples are going through that, everyone you where you have to go, you have to carry your mask, you have to things related to it to carry those things. So uh, we we make, I am actually in when the pandemic is actually happening, so I work on the my one of the project which is detecting the mask, actually people wear the mask or not. One of the application of IoT is that with the small camera, teeny camera, which is right now using these days, simply with the help of camera or OpenCV, or what I said, that MATLAB, which I learned in college days, are actually used in right now. And I make one of the simple application of it to detect the mask, if the person wear the mask or not. So if person is not wearing a mask, it give a alarm or give a suggestion that please wear a mask or something like that. So one of the application, or simply it is not a application, it is actually a need right now. Hello.
Yeah, Shadab, you're audible.
Okay, I heard some unknowing voice. That's why I stopped myself.
No, you may continue, Shadab.
Okay. Okay, so what I tell you guys that one of the application is just to detect the mask. So if a person wearing a mask or not, so that's the application of the IoT. So it's a real-time monitoring that person wear a mask or something like that. So these things are used in our daily life. It is not like a fascinating things or a feature implementation of the thing. It is right now we need it and we implement those which we learn in our past experience. From the past experience we learned, we have get the information. IoT is not like that. It's technology driven. It is a people driven technology. It is not a technology which driven the people. I am saying that in another way. It is a people driven technology where people really needs the applications in our daily life. Sometimes around 2 or 3 years ago, um, I make one of the first project in commercialize that smart powering, uh, smart power the device or automate the your home automation. It is simply said nowadays called home automation. So in early days of my career, people said that it is only a high class or it is just not a need. It is a high class uses or it is just a high class lifestyles uses. But what I found that it is actually a need of people in nowadays. I'm one of the application of those gadget means the gadget which is actually monitor the um current congestion of the things. And if the current congestion of particular systems are increases, it give a alarm to you. So one of the application I found that in normal rural area or urban area, normally we use tube wells or something like that. So sometimes in water tank, just you start the motors to fill the water tank, and because you are not kept monitoring real time, sometimes water wastage is happening. So nowadays water conservations or something like that is also a very required thing. So those things are not only a luxury part of our life, now it's becomes a need of our life. So IoT and IoT systems, IoT gadgets are really nowadays becomes the part of our life. It is a need of our life. So for especially for students, means I am saying that if you learn the things like electronics or electrical or computer science or anything, say that I'm come from the branch electronics and communication. And what I found that people goes into especially into IoT and in those area where applications are not really visible. So what I feel really happy to me that I work in an industry where I what I learned in my previous days, I actually implement it and make it really useful to the people. So IoT is not only a work, not a luxury part. What I try to say, it has become a need of it. So today I'm focusing mainly on the those area, only a two area, but it's actually IoT applicable in the various phase of our life. Every episodes of our life need IoT gadgets and IoT things. I'm not saying we are dependent on it, but it's actually help to standardize our lifestyle or improve our lifestyles. So we try to move on the next slide. One of the key things or keyword right now you heard about that AI. Sorry. AI, artificial intelligence. So you have heard about ML, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so many things. So when you heard about artificial intelligence or machine learning, we found that it is a futuristic things, and people are very fascinating about that. What is AI? What is a machine learning? What is a ML or something like that? So in first day of this webinar series, there is a one episodes, or you can say one webinar especially for tiny ML or something. So if you people are going back to those link, you find that how the machine learning or how the artificial intelligence actually help those things. So how actually AI comes into picture with IoT is that IoT, what IoT get? IoT get the information from the data, sensors from the data from the sensor, and pass on to the one cloud systems or something like that. But actually, the decision making at the computing, or what you say, that edge technology, what is called edge technology, I come into, if you heard about that, what edge technology. So what happens, sensor are passing so many continuous data, real time monitoring or something like that. Just for example, your body temperature is 96.4 Fahrenheit, so it keeps sending the information to the cloud or the systems where actually decision is making happen, or the real time monitoring happen. But uh, it is not our use, because you can't you are only use those data when the uh, data is goes beyond the limit. Simply said that if the temperature of your body goes beyond 100 Fahrenheit or something like that, so only, or 99 degree in COVID situation, what people said that if the temperature of your body is continuously beyond the 100 degree or something like that, you have to take care of things or something like that. So 96.4 degree is not usable data right now. So a new terms comes into IoT, or IoT industry, is called edge computing. What is edge computing is that simply only those data which is really useful is sending to the sensors or the command systems where it took actions. Simply 96.4 degree is not a usable data, because it's not normal to everyone. But when it goes beyond 99 degree Fahrenheit or 100 degree Fahrenheit, that data is very useful. So those data is only passed into the system where actually decision is taking or response is taking. So edge computing comes into action. The same way AI or ML, machine learning or artificial intelligence, are used to detect the faults or changes in the regular daily routines. Sometimes people simply say that walk or means their daily life is normal. So it's also AI, means you can't monitor the person's data throughout the 24 into 7. So AI comes into picture at that time, artificial intelligence. What artificial intelligence is doing, that if something goes wrong or something goes beyond the limit, so it give the information or the alarm to the person or the system to take a decision. So this will include the tools, means tools like AI or ML, to detect the faults or any changes in our regular daily life, daily routine. If something goes wrong or something goes beyond the something limit, you could say give a lot to relative healthcare or healthcare systems or healthcare providers, that something goes wrong and you have to take actions accordingly. uh, it's a monitoring. If you heard about that, in some hospital where COVID patients are there, so they are kept monitoring their SO2 levels or their body temperatures or something. So if right now the it crosses 3 or you can say 30 billion peoples in India only, or simply said more than 3 crore or 5 crore COVID situations or COVID cases are more than 3 crore, or I don't know the exact number right now. But what I say, you can't monitor 3 crore people at a time in the system. So AI comes into actions with the IoT, and what the information is coming from the IoT gadgets or IoT systems, AI gives the alarm to that. So edge computing, artificial intelligence, IoT, these are the key technology which provide us to fight with the COVID or pandemic, any situation like that. So nowadays it is not just a fascinating thing, it is actually need of our, nowadays it becomes a need of our daily life. So and we found that these things come into actions and make our life easier. Just like for example, you are saying that in India, few months ago, oxygen crisis is happening or something like that. So there is I am not saying that people are uh, actually facing the problem of oxygen. It is a mismanagement, or you can say that we can't manage the thing. What happened that some area have a abundant number of oxygen cylinder and some hospital didn't have. So what happening, if we connect all those systems or all those machines with the real time monitoring. If you heard about one of the technology called blockchain. So blockchain is also just like AI, ML, and IoT. Blockchain is one of the technology which is nowadays very helpful or very used in our trendy life. So you can see that what happening. These things monitor the real time systems, and if we have make a or in learn from our past experience, if we make a system which can monitor the real time gathering or oxygen cylinder, and we can decide, okay, this area, particular area or particular city required particular number of oxygen cylinder, we can simply pass on the information to the management that this is the real time situation, and this is the real time requirement of oxygen in particular area, and we simply send those cylinder which is just unused or not in use. So it's really help to our peoples or our systems to improve the healthcare scenario. We can't we learn from our past experience, our past mistakes, but really these technology, IoT or AI or ML, you can say that it really helped. Why we are saying that in India it is not usable or not feasible, but I'm saying that it is very feasible, but only we need to make a resource or management in such a way while using this technology, while what the things we learn from our colleges or books or internet, we have to implement. Actually we learned so many things, we get the marks from our books, but but the problem or the gap or bridge is that we not implement those knowledge or those things into our in any application. So if you learn something simple, for example, especially college student or engineering student, I am saying that 7805, one of the IC means simply, I think in first year in mini project, I learned that 7805 is one of the IC which is converted 12 any DC voltage to 5 volt. So I learned through the book. But if I am not making any project or any application from it, I'm not actually knowing that what's its application. I am only learned that it is a converter from or drop down from any voltage, any DC voltage to any other DC voltage. So what I give us information to the student, especially for a student or engineering student, I'm saying that you have to learn the things which what you learn, you have to apply. The gap is only that we learn so many things, but we not make it applicable or usable in that. So that's why we are saying that what we learn from the school or colleges, we are not applicable in our daily life. It is wrong. You have to find out the way what the information is given or you have taught by the your teachers or anyone, it's actually used in our daily life. I'm saying that previous challenge means I think in final year of my college time. He taught me nanotechnology at that time. Nanotechnology is one of the um, a key prominent area in that. Nowadays nanotechnology is used in health industry and other things. So I'm simply said that IoT and other things are which are used in these days are used in our daily life, I actually make it our life easier or more healthier. So just I am looking to the watch, and I think it's really goes to the, so concerning the time limit, I am concluding my things. So that's all from my thanks.
Thank you, Shadab. Thank you for your sparing your time with us and giving an insight on IoT. And
Mm.
it was indeed a great learning experience from you. I understand that you were talking about a subject that I was teaching you, nanoelectronics,
Nano
and I know the yeah, and the first subject that I was given to teach you, I joined the same year in which you were in the final years, and
mm,
the first subject that I was given was nanoelectronics. So I know I took a lot of pain in studying for myself because it was not my background then. I was from wireless background, and I had to study deep into the nanoelectronics technology. But
mm,
yeah, nanoelectronics today have excelled, and because of the nanoelectronics and other embedded system technologies, we are able to have some smart devices with us that are
mm.
capable of contributing into the IoT industry. And
Yeah.
in the healthcare, in the computer vision, like the lecture that we had yesterday, it was on computer vision. So traffic light management systems and traffic management systems that have integrated traffic controlling systems nowadays that can capture the number plates and send you a challan online if you break any of
Yeah.
the traffic
Yeah.
signals. Yeah, so that are all the it's like a boon from the IoT industry only. It's
Mm.
sometimes a boon, sometimes a bane, and sometimes a pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I simply
all
said that,
yeah.
sir, means one of the dilemma or is that in what we learned from the colleges or something, we only get the degree or getting the marks for only. But the same dilemma I have, I'm not saying that I'm not having, but when I come into industry and when I face challenges, I found that what I learned in the colleges or things which is actually taught in our college is actually applicable in our industry, in our things. So people saying that bookish knowledge is unuseful. I'm not in that area, that those
Mhm.
things which is you learn or anyone, Hassan Saeed sir or Namu Rahman sir, those people are what actually they learn, they give a thought to me, actually applicable in industry. And what I found, I simply suggest to those people or those student who is nowadays in engineering, the same thing which is you learn, you have to apply, and you found that it is very useful in your daily life.
Okay, I was going through one of your projects, and that was one of your smart plug, Betty smart plug.
Yeah.
So I would like you to discuss something to our students.
uh,
How did you implement it, and what was the challenges that you faced while implementing it?
Mm. So
Can you share
actually,
some experience?
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Means, sir, a smart plug. Actually, it is a mini project of my second year. Actually, to the
Okay.
thread, it is
Yeah.
a just a basic concept to control switch the systems or relay via the SMS. So
Okay.
what I learned in the college, that and that is a mini project. In final year, the same project, I improved that project to make it a visitor counter and simply the application. So I use the same concept into the industry. In industry, right now we demanded that smart plug. We have a millions of gadgets which is not smart right now, and we face like, for example, AC, cooler, or in urban areas simply a motor you have to implement. So there is no devices like that which can monitor or control those things. So I make a smart plug, just like a plug and play system. It is just a power plug, and a power plug which is controlled via the application. So I use
Yes.
the same concept in that. And the challenges I faced that in early days, I found that that the basic concept related to what I say simply that 7805, one of the IC. I'm not means in college what I found that I only learn about that. Okay, this is the IC which is giving 12 volt to 5 volt or something like that. So the challenge is that also find out that it's only work when the range of the that IC is greater than uh, 7 volt or something like that. Those tricky things is the one of the key challenges in my project. And after implementing the same concept and learning from data sheets and give feedback from you and sir, because Hassan Saeed sir and Amur Rahman sir kept guide me. And also whenever I face challenges, I just call to them, sir, I am facing this challenge, how to solve it. And they guide me, and that, okay, Shadab, just implement, try to implement. One of the same means I am in a smart plug. I work for the smart technology smart village project in Tirupati, where I face a challenge that every time my plug is get burned, something like that, because I don't know about the surge current or inrush current. So I called Nemo Rahman sir at that time, sir, that I faced, sir, that when the system is started, it's burned. So what he suggests, okay, check the inrush current or the surge current. So I checked that, okay, the surge current is going beyond the limit of that gadget. So
Yes.
in second year or third year, I think I can't remember the exact. There is a second order filter, low pass filter. That is a RC filter is there. So
Yes.
capacitor or register, via capacitor I'm using register. The concept which is given into the second year of the book of electronics,
Yes.
the same
Yes.
concept I apply on my gadget. I make a um, running RC filter, and my gadget start working. So those are the things about key moments that
Yes.
really helpful. Means
So this
the
only
same
comes
thing.
from experience. Once you
Uh,
try to build something, then only the
uh,
problems will come, and you'll encounter what are the best solutions to figure out
uh,
what is the how we can make this work out. So this is only possible through this thing. So I'll take up some questions now. Shadab, can you hear me? Okay, no problem. See, Mohammad Shahabuddin has asked this question, and in yesterday's session also this question was asked. Someone asked, "What is the difference between AI and not AI, but IoT devices and wireless sensor networks?" Someone from South India, and see, the IoT devices are smart devices. IoT means Internet of Things. Internet of Things, something that can be any device that can be connected to an internet, and you can gather information through it. That can be considered as an IoT device. Okay, so any device, like if for example a smartwatch that I am wearing right now is a IoT device. How? Because there are sensors embedded in it, and it can sense your heart rate, your in fact some sensors are able to sense your SpO2 levels. Some other physiological parameters can also be measured. uh, so all these devices that are incorporated with some kind of sensors, then those devices are IoT devices. Then comes the machine learning. AI is a bigger field, and machine learning is the subfield. Okay, so machine learning and deep learning is a AI is a big umbrella, and machine learning and deep learning comes under that umbrella. Okay, so artificial intelligence, when you program an IoT device, any smartwatch, to gather information, or if take for example a simple camera that can be programmed to sense uh, traffic management, or say if these cameras can be incorporated to say gather information on how many persons are there in a particular room, then these sensors are there, and this is how we can program the computer, these cameras to become smart. They can gather information, this data can be processed. So machine learning algorithms are able to process the data that has been captured through these devices and predict some future trend. If a particular device is there, say suppose I'm talking about this smartwatch, okay, and this smartwatch is able to tell me about my health conditions. Say suppose the heart levels, my heart rate is going down, then it'll definitely give me an alarm saying that your heart levels are going down, you must get this medicine, or book an appointment for me for to a doctor using a third party app that is installed on my phone. Then this becomes machine learning, or a smart device. Any device that can sense the data and can predict some future trend is a smart device. And machine learning algorithms is a tool that can be used to predict those predictions. Okay, so that is how machine learning, AI, and IoT are all interrelated. And in research, obviously, everything is going into research all these days. uh, there are several researchers in the field of IoT. Shadab was also working with the Honda connected cars project also. Am I right, Shadab?
Yeah, and that is one of the key features, means
Yeah.
one of the key project in my life.
Yeah, yeah. Can you just give a brief also about that?
Yeah, it's just like Honda connected car is there is actually one of the gadget which is used to monitor the cars or something like that. Just below the your steering, there is a called DOB. Actually, a device name is called DOB. So it is a 16 pin device. Normally in garage or something, when you took your car there, they can monitor your car via that gadget. So the
Hmm.
same things is just we pass on the all the information which is getting through that device, we pass on to the directly to the internet, or simply said that all the information are real time monitor. So we can
Hmm.
find out that your fuel tank, your speed of the car, or something, if some mechanics or some ABS, just like one of the key features in ABS. If ABS goes wrong or something is happening to ABS, so we can real time monitor it and also predict the future maintenance of the car. So
Yes.
Honda Connect is simply one of the project where we can get the information or monitor the car health via that gadget, or get that thing. So that's
One
the
of the
thing.
features that I remember of Honda connected cars was like as soon as you enter the car
Hmm.
and you enter with an iPhone mobile, the screen of the Honda car uh, appears to be it appears open, and your phone gets connected directly to that system, and
Yeah.
you can even control the through either your phone
uh,
or through your voice command through Alexa app. Now the things are limitless. You can do
uh,
anything, even through your voice commands. Also, you can try to run a car, like we have
uh,
seen in various Hollywood movies. You can just simply give a voice command and your car will start. And
uh,
now this is coming to reality in India as well.
yeah,
I can assure you that. And
yeah.
today we are having electric cars, electric vehicles with us. It's going to be a boon now. And
Mm,
since fuel prices are going up, and people are looking for alternative sources for commuting, and even Ola Electric is also coming up with a scooter
yeah.
in a real world, and uh, they are also selling it for a very cheap rate. And that's how I can understand like the market or the fuel market will be going very low if these technologies come into existence, and all thanks to electronics and mechanical engineering and every engineering aspect that has been applied. Since they are all DC powered, so we are in there are research going on to incorporate solar panels so that we can
Yeah.
charge the batteries of these
So
electric vehicles, whether a
I,
car or a scooter or anything. Yeah, you want
the
to add
same thing,
something? Yeah.
yeah, I am trying to say that this is the right time or right situation for, especially for electronics or electrical student, to come or jump into the industry of electrical vehicles. And in
Yes.
our, means in India, if you heard about that, Tesla is also planning to come to Indian market or
Yes.
Indian
Yes.
industry, and Ola already in there. And if you found that in Bonds is one of the scooter provider, rent provider in Bangalore or Hyderabad, if you heard about that. So
Mhm.
they replace their bikes or a scooty with the electric scooty or something like that. So I
Mhm.
am saying that especially for final year students or third year, learn about the electric vehicles, how actually it is working and how the things are working in that. And if you have a basic knowledge of it, you have a great opportunity in upcoming future. And if you one of the interesting fact I am trying to share with you, sir, our one of
Yeah.
the junior from mechanical branch named Mehndi Hassan, if you
Yes. Yes. I know him.
so right now he's working with the Rafale, with Reliance Industry, in especially for
Okay.
drone.
Okay.
So
Okay.
casually we meet in weekend. He's staying in Bangalore, just around 5 kilometers from my flat. So we
Mhm.
kept in, and he's saying that what actually going on and there. So he's also working in college days. Means my first interaction is that he's working with the EV at that time in 2013, around 6 or 7 years ago. I am saying that
Mhm.
at that time. Means electric vehicles not very in market or something like that. So
Mhm.
I'm try to saying that for, especially for students, concerning that, because I'm focusing on mainly because I'm going through that phase in student life. So try to catch the upcoming technology like electric vehicle or electric thing. So you can't, if anyone saying that in electronics or electrical there is a no hope, something like that, I'm saying that there is a multiple hope in right now. And this is the right time, this is the right time. And if you learn just the basic things of, and if you clear about your basics, there are so many opportunity in India already. So you're
Yeah.
not going here and there or something like that.
And this is one of our questions also from a participant. Dania Fatima is asking, what is the key advice for a business interested in the IoT? So, Dania, I would like to suggest that there are a lot of scope in IoT industry, and even the healthcare sector is also in the verge of booming in this direction. And nowadays, since after the pandemic, when everybody has been impacted some or the other way through COVID-19, and that's a life, you can understand how we have lost people around us, and uh, it really brings us to a situation where we need a proper healthcare system in India. Proper healthcare system in India means whether anytime, anywhere, ubiquitous, I'm talking about anytime, anywhere, requirement of healthcare is there, then immediately the healthcare solutions or the healthcare providers can provide you with the immediate help, like for arranging an ambulance or arranging a doctor or arranging a surgery in within 30 minutes. If
And
that way of uh, if that style of
that is called
yeah.
emergency fast response. I am already talking about that.
Yes, yes.
So
So healthcare should be revamped, and there are a lot of scope in this industry. So Dania, you can understand what's the scope, and This is how you can
The
work on.
basics, and I try to say that one of the basic implementation right now IoT, sir. So if you simply monitor the temperature with
Correct.
your something gadget and pass on to the real time to the healthcare system, and something like that, in just like in integral, there are so many people working right now. You are in office, something like that, and those monitoring systems, those key watches are simply systems which is passing the temperature to the health monitoring area. It's one of the application, and I think more than thousand billions of dollars industry is that, just to monitor the temperature.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I think this was the last question. And anything else you want to input, Shadab?
I'm saying that
About
IoT is not just simply said that we. It is not just a fascinating word. It is right now becomes our life, and especially students, please try to implement what you learn and implement those things into your daily life problems. You find a great opportunity, great jobs in your life. And I'm doing nothing else apart from just the implementation what I learned in the college, or simply facing problems. I just try to implement or get a solution from those things. So you people also try to find out the solution, not only getting the marks, but you have to implement those things.
okay, thank you, Shadab. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
enlightening our students, and hopefully they will work in the field. All the students, whether they are from computer science, they will work in the computer vision, mechanical. They are going to go into the electric vehicle side, and electronics. They are working in the machine learning and programming. So there are thousands of possibilities. And thank you for sharing your views. And they will really be benefited by this lecture. I hope so. So thank you, Shadab. Uh, Thank you for coming and giving sparing your time. Take care. Huh? Okay, so coming back to all the viewers and participants, you are required to fill the feedback. The feedback form will be immediately opened after we end this broadcast, and you can fill the feedback from there. Okay. So we'll meet again tomorrow, and tomorrow's lecture details will be provided to you soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.